46. When Tao prevails in the world, galloping horses are turned back to fertilize the fields with the dung. When Tao does not prevail in the world, war horses thrive in the suburbs. There is no calamity greater than lavish desires. There is no greater guilt than discontentment. And there is no greater disaster than greed. He who is contented with contentment is always contented. 47. One may know the world without going out of doors. One may see the way of heaven without looking through the windows. The further one goes, the less one knows. Therefore the sage knows without going about, understands without seeing, and accomplishes without any action. 48. The pursuit of learning is to increase day after day. The pursuit of Tao is to decrease day after day. It is to decrease and further decrease until one reaches the point of taking no action. No action is undertaken, and yet nothing is left undone. An empire is often brought to order by having no activity. If one likes to undertake activity, he is not qualified to govern the empire. 49. The sage has no fixed, personal ideas. He regards the people's ideas as his own. I treat those who are good with goodness, and I also treat those who are not good with goodness. Thus goodness is attained. I am honest to those who are honest, and I am also honest to those who are not honest. Thus honesty is attained. The sage, in the government of his empire, has no subjective viewpoint. His mind forms a harmonious whole with that of his people. They all lend their eyes and ears, and he treats them all as infants. 50. Man comes into life and goes out to death. 3 out of 10 are companions of life. 3 out of 10 are companions of death. And 3 out of 10 in their lives lead from activity to death. And for what reason? Because of man's intensive striving after life. I have heard that one who is a good preserver of his life will not meet tigers or wild buffaloes, and in fighting will not try to escape from weapons of war. The wild buffalo cannot put its horns against him, the tiger cannot fasten its claws in him, and weapons of war cannot thrust their blades into him. And for what reason? Because in him there is no room for death. 51. Tao produces them. Virtue fosters them. Matter gives them physical form. The circumstances and tendencies complete them. Therefore the 10,000 things esteem Tao and honor virtue. Tao is esteemed and virtue is honored without anyone's order. They always come spontaneously. Therefore the Tao produces them and virtue fosters them. They rear them and develop them. They give them security and give them peace. They nurture them and protect them. Tao produces them but does not take possession of them. It acts, but does not rely on its own ability. It leads them but does not master them. This is called profound and secret virtue. 52. There was a beginning of the universe which may be called the mother of the universe. He who has found the mother, Tao, and thereby understands her sons, things, and having understood the sons, still keeps to its mother, will be free from danger throughout his lifetime. Close the mouth. Shut the doors of cunning and desires, and to the end of life there will be peace without toil. Open the mouth. Meddle with affairs, and to the end of life there will be no salvation. Seeing what is small is called enlightenment. Keeping to weakness is called strength. Use the light. Revert to enlightenment, and thereby avoid danger to one's life. This is called practicing the eternal. 53. If I had but little knowledge I should, in walking on a broad way, fear getting off the road. Broad ways are extremely even, but people are fond of bypaths. The courts are exceedingly splendid, while the fields are exceedingly weedy, and the granaries are exceedingly empty. Elegant clothes are worn, sharp weapons are carried, food and drinks are enjoyed beyond limit, and wealth and treasures are accumulated in excess. This is robbery and extravagance. This is indeed not Tao, the way. 54. He who is well established in Tao cannot be pulled away. He who has a firm grasp of Tao cannot be separated from it. Thus, from generation to generation, his ancestral sacrifice will never be suspended. When one cultivates virtue in his person, it becomes genuine virtue. When one cultivates virtue in his family, it becomes overflowing virtue. When one cultivates virtue in his community, it becomes lasting virtue. When one cultivates virtue in his country, it becomes abundant virtue. When one cultivates virtue in the world, it becomes universal. Therefore, the person should be viewed as a person. The family should be viewed as a family. The community should be viewed as a community. The country should be viewed as a country. And the world should be viewed as the world. How do I know this to be the case in the world? Through this. 55. He who possesses virtue in abundance may be compared to an infant. Poisonous insects will not sting him. Fierce beasts will not seize him. Birds of prey will not strike him. His bones are weak, his sinews tender, but his grasp is firm. He does not yet know the union of male and female, but his organ is aroused. This means that his essence is at its height. He may cry all day without becoming hoarse. This means that his natural harmony is perfect. To know harmony means to be in accord with the eternal. To be in accord with the eternal means to be enlightened. To force the growth of life means ill omen. For the mind to employ the vital force without restraint means violence. After all things reach their prime, they begin to grow old, which means being contrary to Tao. Whatever is contrary to Tao will soon perish. 56. He who knows does not speak. He who speaks does not know. Close the mouth. Shut the doors. Blunt the sharpness. Untie the tangles. Soften the light. Become one with the dusty world. This is called the profound identification. Therefore, it is impossible either to be intimate and close to him or to be distant and indifferent to him. It is impossible either to benefit him or to harm him. It is impossible either to honor him or disgrace him. For this reason he is honored by the world. 57. Govern the state with correctness. Operate the army with surprise tactics. Administer the empire by engaging in no activity. How do I know that this should be so? Through this. The more taboos and prohibitions there are in the world, the poorer the people will be. The more sharp weapons the people have, the more troubled the state will be. The more cunning and skill a man possesses, the more vicious things will appear. The more laws and orders are made prominent, the more thieves and robbers there will be. Therefore the sage says, I take no action, and the people of themselves are transformed. I love tranquility, and the people of themselves become correct. I engage in no activity, and the people of themselves become prosperous. I have no desires, and the people of themselves become simple. 58. When the government is non-discriminative and dull, the people are contented and generous. When the government is searching and discriminative, the people are disappointed and contentious. Calamity is that upon which happiness depends. Happiness is that in which calamity is latent. Who knows when the limit will be reached? Is there no correctness used to govern the world? Then the correct again becomes the perverse, and the good again will become evil. The people have been deluded for a long time. Therefore the sage is as pointed as a square, but does not pierce. He is as acute as a knife, but does not cut. He is as straight as an unbent line, but does not extend. He is as bright as light, but does not dazzle. 59. To rule people and to serve heaven there is nothing better than to be frugal. Only by being frugal can one recover quickly. To recover quickly means to accumulate virtue heavily. By the heavy accumulation of virtue one can overcome everything. If one can overcome everything, then he will acquire a capacity the limit of which is beyond anyone's knowledge. When his capacity is beyond anyone's knowledge, he is fit to rule a state. He who possesses the mother, Tao, of the state will last long. This means that the roots are deep and the stalks are firm, which is the way of long life and everlasting vision. 60. Ruling a big country is like cooking a small fish. If Tao is employed to rule the empire, spiritual beings will lose their supernatural power. Not that they lose their spiritual power, but their spiritual power can no longer harm people. Not only will their supernatural power not harm people, but the sage also will not harm people. When both do not harm each other, virtue will be accumulated in both for the benefit of the people.